Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those that don't know me, my name is Brittany and I post videos basically just documenting my keto journey. I've been doing keto since May 2018 and since then I've lost 24 kilos. I have a weight loss story. If you're interested and you haven't seen it, I'll list it in the description box down below. Recently, I've been getting a lot of messages on my Instagram regarding like best tips for keto. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my top 6 tips on how to be successful on keto, how to stay on track, and how to get the best results on the ketogenic diet. Okay, tip number 1 is do your research, people. This may seem very obvious to some of you. A lot of people skip this step completely. Now, before you even consider committing to a ketogenic diet, I want you to have at least the minimum Googled or Pinterest keto food list, and also just Google what is keto, look at the basics. And yeah, I have so many people that message me on Instagram asking what foods can I eat on keto or how much fat can I consume. Seriously guys, I love answering all your questions, but you need to do some research yourself first. If you're really serious about this diet change and you want to be successful on this diet, you need to do some research. I don't expect you to go and read a 100-page book on keto and what is keto and look at every little bit and bob that there is on the internet, but seriously, all it takes is watching a few YouTube videos. I started off watching Dr. Eric Berg. He posts heaps of keto videos and most of them are less than 5 minutes long. So basically I just watched a few of them per day in the upcoming weeks to when I was starting keto, and yeah, it basically covers everything you need to know. I'm always happy to answer questions on my Instagram, but please do a bit of research for yourself first. Tip number 2 is be prepared for every situation. Now, for me, this is probably the most crucial tip because keto is so, I guess, based around whole foods and it's a lot of cooking and preparation. You need to be prepared for every situation. Now, I personally don't really agree with the whole meal prep thing. I don't know what it is. I just can't get my head around prepping a week's worth of food at once. I don't know, it's something about the freshness of it, whatever. I get really weird about it. Basically, what I do and what works for me is I prep most of my ingredients beforehand. So basically, I always have stuff like cut up carrot and celery sticks, hard-boiled eggs, things like that that are easy to grab on the go and they're readily available for you to eat straight away. Although I don't love to meal prep, I always do try to make sure I have 1 or 2 meals ready to go for backup in the fridge. So I generally cook like a bigger dinner and then keep the leftovers for the next day for work, things like that. And if I get called in early for work or something, I've got something there to just grab and take and I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna eat. When I say all situations, I mean literally every situation. So although you might not want to eat sweets while you're on keto, even if they're keto sweets, I strongly recommend having something there just as an emergency backup in case you get that sweet craving at the end of the night. Especially when you're first starting, you're probably going to crave sweets a lot until you get over that initial stage and you get into fat burning mode. So basically there's a few favorite desserts that I like to keep in my fridge or in my pantry. Mostly I have berries and cream, whipped cream or pouring cream. I have dark chocolate always in my pantry, and Halo Top ice cream is really good as well for just when you want something sweet. It's better you having something like Halo Top ice cream in your freezer rather than going out and buying a soft serve or an ice cream from Macca's. So yeah, even though you may not want to, you want to try and avoid those foods at the start, I strongly suggest having them there just in case you really feel like it. Also, I recommend carrying snacks with you at all times, just again for emergencies. I normally, when I go to uni, if I know I'm gonna have back-to-back classes, I'll carry like a protein bar and some nuts in my bag, stuff that's gonna keep in my bag and won't go bad. And yeah, it's just when I get really, really hungry, I can't even go out of the classroom to go down and get a coffee or something, I've got that there to tie me over and get me through. Tip number 3 is to just focus on what you're eating. Now, there's a lot of talk around keto and intermittent fasting and only eating 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day and, you know, cardio, things like that. Although exercise is really beneficial on the ketogenic diet and it can bring you really good results, it isn't necessary. So for the first few months of my keto journey, I basically just followed my diet, and you know, if I could go walk my dog here and there, I would do that. But I didn't, you know, I didn't try to push myself to make it to the gym. I didn't force myself to, you know, exercise. And yeah, I think that really helped, because if you're anything like me, transitioning from a diet which was just purely junk, I was eating whatever I wanted, heaps of sugar, and I just had the worst habits. Trying to go from that to a keto diet, intermittent fasting, going to the gym, it's really, really hard, and it gets really overwhelming, and you just pretty much set yourself up to fail when you're going in that hard all at once. So yeah, while I do recommend exercising and cardio for keto, if you can't get to the gym, or if you can't, you know, get out and have a walk every day, that is completely fine. Just focus on your diet and everything else will follow. Just to add to that, I personally have never really tracked my macros or counted my calories. Again, this is a personal decision, but for me at the start, it was all a bit too much. I basically just tracked my carbs, made sure I was getting enough fat into every meal. Restrict myself that much. If I got home from work at 10 o'clock at night and I was hungry, I was gonna eat a meal. You know, I didn't restrict in that way. I just ate when I was hungry, and I ate all the right low carb foods, and I stopped when I was full, and that was it. And that worked for me, and I lost 18 kilos in the first 4 months alone. So yeah, please do not beat yourself up if you can't get to the gym, or if you're not intermittent fasting. Just trust the process, worry about your food first. Tip number 4 is to drink plenty of water. Now, this is easier than said. I know a lot of people struggle with drinking enough water. Me personally, I've always been a big water drinker, so I drink probably around 2 to 3 liters a day. I know some people can't even, you know, consume 1 liter a day. But yeah, it is really important on keto, especially because when you're transitioning from glucose to ketones, your body is getting rid of all the carbohydrates which hold on to and retain water. So once you don't have glucose in your system, your body is not retaining the water, so you need more water. My recommendation is to carry a drink bottle with you wherever you go. I take my drink bottle, I take it to work, I take it to uni, I take it if I'm going up the shops in the car. I literally take my water bottle. So yeah, highly recommend getting a big water bottle that you can take everywhere. Also, if you're someone that cannot stand the taste of water, there are plenty of low sugar electrolyte powders, and also like water drops that you can buy. I'm pretty sure you can get them on iHerb and Low Carb Emporium, and they're really good to help increase your water intake as well. Trust me, if you're not drinking enough water on keto, you will notice it, especially in the transitioning stage. I know when I haven't drank enough water, I get really bad headaches, and I just feel really off and really flat and fatigued. So yeah, I really recommend trying as hard as you can to increase your water intake, especially in the first couple of weeks of keto. Number 5, don't rely purely on the scales for your results. The scales are either your best friend or your worst enemy. At the start, they're probably going to be your best friend, because you tend to drop water really quickly and you see results. For the first couple of months, my weight dropped on the scales. I cannot speak today. But after you get a few months in, your body kind of, I think it freaks out a little bit, and it wants to hold on to the weight because it's scared you're losing it too quickly. So the best thing to do is to take your measurements before you start. I monitored my measurements for the first maybe 3 or 4 months, and I noticed a massive change, more than what I saw on the scales. So just to give you an example, in the first 14 weeks, I lost about 16 kilos on keto. For the measurements, I lost in total 51.5 centimeters. So that is pretty insane if you think about it. 18 of those centimeters was purely just off my hips, and I think there was like 10 on my waist as well. So, and look at how your clothes are fitting. I noticed within the first month that my clothes were getting looser, especially around my stomach. My shirts were getting a lot looser. They weren't clinging to me. Oh my God, the dogs. generally you can see changes. Also, if you feel confident enough, I know I didn't really take too many photos before I started, but try to take some photos throughout your journey just to see the small things change and see your progress. It really can help. And yeah. The last tip, tip number 6, is to get involved in the keto community on Facebook and Instagram. Now, at the moment, there's a huge following on Instagram around the keto diet. There's so many big accounts that post really regularly, and it's really helpful for when you want food inspiration or, you know, you want a question answered. Everyone's really helpful, and if you comment or you inbox them, I'm sure they'll answer your question. Also, if you feel up to it, if you feel confident enough, create your own Instagram account documenting your keto journey. Like, it's amazing what it will do for you. I remember I contemplated making one for the first couple of months when I started, but it took me about 3 months for me to actually make my keto account. If you haven't seen it already, I will link it below. It's just at Life's Better Keto. And yeah, I post on there pretty much daily. I always post stories and update like everyone on what I'm doing, what I'm eating. And yeah, I love it. It's just a way to feel connected to everyone and to just know you're not in it alone. Yeah, it's another way for you to gain knowledge and research about keto as well. Anyway guys, that's all of my tips on how to be successful on keto. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.